Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, we are back. We are off. We are running. We are live. We are brand new. We are everything. It is Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in on a Friday morning. 256-576-4977. That's the number you can join the phone lines, join the show throughout the 2 hours this morning. Welcome in. Got a lot of stuff to get through. Drew, last night, the UAH Chargers kicked off their run here, their two-game run, taking on McKendree. And in case you missed the final score.
And you learn a lot about your team when you play on the road. Yeah, we had neutral games, but this was a true road environment where you're playing in front of an angry fan base.
That is the final horn as the Chargers winners 76-62.
There you go. Winners, Drew. Winners.
So does that mean you had potato soup before or after?
Okay. Potato
and remember,
soup.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Come on now.
I love this job.
We're a minute into the show.
Yeah, there we go.
We're a minute into the show. UAH gets a win 76-62, and you bring up potato soup. Now, we did not get to go to the place because they're remodeling it.
Oh, so they're closed for remodel?
Yes. But anyway, we have the pregame meal at Outback yesterday.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And Steve Moulton orders a bowl of potato soup.
But
he has to get it to go.
Uh-oh.
So they give it to him to go.
Oh.
So he leaves. The waitress comes back with another bowl of potato soup.
Oh, so you got a free bowl of potato soup.
And then she comes with a cup of potato soup.
Oh.
There was more potato soup than what one man could ever want.
Right.
In one table. But anyway, Chargers of Victoria 76-62 last night. Tommy Murr 27, Luke Burnett 18, Blake Campbell 17. They get it done. The 23rd ranked Chargers will be in action tonight, 5:30, taking on University of Missouri St. Louis. And we'll have that game for you on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. So you can tune in and listen to game 2 of this road trip tonight if you would like.
Sounds good. Good win for the Chargers. Good defense holding a home standing team to 62 points, and Tommy Murr doing Tommy Murr things with 27, and his supporting cast stepping up. So a good first win for the Chargers. I hate that they are remodeling, so you didn't get some of the best potato soup you've ever had, but hey, eating it Outback is a good consolation prize.
Here's a little Mick Hedgespeth after last night's win.
I think they handled it well for the most part, other than we had a few missed play executions in the first half. Almost gave up a layup to end the first half. That is not us. And then we had a few too many turnovers. I think we had 9 second half turnovers that, could have ended up being detrimental. But other than that, I thought we executed really well. I thought we answered the bell. I mean, this is a hard place to play against a really good team. It was really loud in here. It was hard for me to get the calls in, hard for our guys to communicate with each other. But I'm really, really proud of our defensive effort. I mean, against a team that can score it in a lot of different ways and has a lot of different threats. I thought we gave a great defensive effort tonight.
That was Coach Hedgespeth after getting the team's first true road win, Drew. They hadn't won on the road. You know how hard it is to win on the road.
Yeah, no doubt. We talk about it all the time. And and to shoot as well as they did on the road, to basically shoot 50% from the field overall, and hit 9 threes. I mean, that's strong stuff, man. I mean, they were for the game from 2, they were slightly over 50%, right at it, and then 9 of 23 from 3. That's really efficient. And then to get to the free throw line 17 times, that's tough. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's tough to get 10 free throws when you're the visiting team. So to go to the line 17 times, convert 15, and then to continue to rebound the ball well. I mean, that's key. I mean, they out rebounded the homestanding McKendree by 9. So to win the battle of the glass as well, which means you played good, tough basketball. And anytime you can hold a team in the 60s in the college game today, when most kids don't want to defend to save their lives, that's pretty good.
You are not far off on that one bit. So that was a little college basketball last night. Now, don't forget again, tonight, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 5:30, UAH, University of Missouri, St. Louis. And in case you're wondering, I know it's chilly back there as well, but with the wind chill right now, it feels like 29.
It's a little bit warmer today. Didn't have to use the defroster this morning. And so it sounds like it's about 10 degrees warmer over there too.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not too bad.
Right.
I know you don't have. Did you by chance watch the NFL game last night with all the snow?
I did not get Amazon Prime, but I did see the highlights watching, Hueytown's finest. Rally them against and that's Jameis Winston after he ate some crab legs, rallying them. The Cleveland Sorries, the Pukes ended up winning the game in the last 10 seconds or so.
24-19.
Yeah, 24-19 with a late touchdown from Nick Chubb. What a comeback from that guy after the severe knee injury.
But afterwards, this was good. Jameis Winston last night after the game, talking about playing in the snow.
Yeah, man, it really was amazing. Like, I was just praying on the sideline because that fourth quarter, it really was like it was a whole paradigm shift. Like, we were playing so well offensively, and then bang, bang, back-to-back drives with turnovers. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is really an NFL's film moment. The snow starts pouring down. It starts getting like I felt like my feet started getting heavy because I'm squishing through the snow. And man, it was so good, and it was so great to end up in that win.
I thought it was just funny. I mean, it looked like kids. I didn't get to watch it either, but it looked like a bunch of kids out there having fun at times playing in the snow. I mean, it was some thick, heavy snow.
Well, I mean, Jameis is from Hueytown, Alabama, and is Florida State. So needless to say, he hasn't played in the snow. So, I mean, so it was a new experience for him. You know what I'm saying? There was probably some ice around the crab legs when he ganked them, but that was pre-NIL, but they hooked him up.
One of the good things that came out of last night, Jerry Jeudy continues to look good with Jameis Winston. They're throwing him the ball. I mean, he had 6 catches, 85 yards, and his top 70 receiving yards in each of Winston's 4 starts. So he and Jameis Winston seem to have a little something. Yeah,
they seem to. He went to him on the 4th and 4, and he caught the pass to continue the game-winning drive. So Judy's having a kind of a renaissance to his career after getting out of Denver. I mean, I think he could have done some good things with Bo Nix, but sometimes you need to change the scenery. He's kind of taken the torch from Amari Cooper, who was traded to the Buffalo Bills, and so I mean, trust me, the Browns aren't going anywhere. They're 3-8 from the standpoint of the playoffs, but but Jameis has had a long career. I mean, he hasn't lived up to being the number one overall pick, but he's been solid. He's still, considered a top level backup in the league. And heck, man, you can make $7-8 million a year doing that. So Jameis is good, and again, he's not played bad football since he took over for Deshaun, overrated. And, that's what they've, were, because I mean, they still owe that guy 100-something million, I think, that they fully guarantee, because they have one of the worst owners in the history of sports. And of course he would be, since he's a Tennessee booster.
All right. So the other big story that came out of yesterday, and here's, oh, this is only fitting. It is only fitting. 66 years ago today, the LSU Tigers won their very first national championship in college football. They beat Tulane 62-0. Okay, that's when you had the AP poll and the coaches poll and all that stuff. It was released before the bowl game. And so today, today, LSU Tiger fans wake up and sometimes they celebrate the biggest day in LSU football history. Yesterday, as they wake up today, oh, Drew.
I will quote Mike Scarborough, who's been on this show of TigerBait.com. It's Mike Scarborough's Tiger Bait. He said, today is a pity party.
This after Bryce Underwood, who had been committed to LSU, for quite some time.
Since January, this past January.
Flips his commitment to the University of Michigan. And as soon as it's done, as soon as the commitment is done, everybody comes out, and now with the new NIL era, they start talking about money and all this other stuff. And On3 reported on November 14th that Michigan offered him a 4-year, $10.5 million NIL deal in an attempt to flip his commitment from Michigan to LSU. Now, if that is true, I mean, that's college football now. But, man, Brian Kelly loses 3 in a row, and now he loses the number one commit in the class. What's going on at LSU?
Well, like I said, man, it's one of those things. They haven't lived up to expectations for since the second half of the Texas A&M game in College Station. Things have kind of fallen apart. We all know what happened coming off the bye against Alabama. Then they continue. They've lost 3 in a row. I mean, they haven't won since they were very impressive over in Fayetteville, Arkansas against Sam Pittman. I mean, and they lose in the Swamp to Florida, who had a injured freshman QB and I think 5 starters out on defense. They're just not playing very good football, man. And when those rumblings started a few weeks ago, I'll be the first to admit I wasn't surprised that Michigan was doing that, because again, they're desperate. They've had a bad year themselves, and they're trying to make sure, kind of like Missouri's been doing with Elijah Drinkwitz, hey, we're not going to let the in-state guys leave. We're going to pass a state law, this and that. Or in Michigan's case, they have a very prestigious, very rich alumni base. Hey, we're not going to let this kid leave. We're going to make it very, very difficult. I know you mentioned the 4-year, $10.5 million deal that was leaked out there a few weeks ago. I was just watching reaction and seeing what the inside buzz was, Scott. I think he actually put out an Instagram post turning that offer down, but I think they just kept increasing it. And, you're never going to know 12? The true amount unless they pass some legislation in January where you have to go public with it, and be officially official, all you want to say. But it sounds like they went up to $12 million, and they're guaranteeing him $3 million a year for the 4 years, which, I mean, he doesn't plan on being there 4 years, Scott. I think we understand that. He wants to be gone in 3 and be probably the first pick in the draft. But they continued, and then basically they did a good fella thing where they made him a godfather. They made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And here's the crazy part. He's from Bellevue, Michigan, only about 30 minutes from Ann Arbor. and he hadn't visited the campus since before the national championship season a year ago, which was in July of 2023. When he also visited Alabama as well, that I believe that summer. And again, there was some buzz about that, but I don't think Alabama was willing to pay the price. And I'm gonna stick up for LSU. It's not like LSU was being cheap here. Supposedly, according to Matt Moscona and those that I trust would know, they were even before he flipped yesterday. His agents were on the horn with LSU, working out the dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and he was going to get $1.5 million a year at LSU, but Michigan would not go away, and they flipped him. And man, it was seismic to say the least. And now we'll see what kind of effect that has on LSU's recruiting class, because I mean that's the thing, they were holding their hat, as far as they were, even though they had a year this year where they felt like they underachieved, the thing that was getting them through was they were going to have Bryce Underwood next year. Even though I'll say I felt bad for Nussmeier, who has had a solid year, but he has another year of eligibility, and people are kind of trying to push him out the door to make room for the wonder kid. And we all saw what happened with Oklahoma in that situation.
Right. All right. Wolverine Dan is with us on the phone lines this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dan.
Well, it's not Bellevue, it's Belleville.
Okay, thanks. Okay, cool.
And the reason why I know that, Drew, no disrespect, sir, you don't live there, but I lived there many years. I actually lived next door to that city.
I'm thinking of Bellevue, Washington, because their logos look a lot alike. So, and that's where I'm getting the Bellevue. So, yeah, Belleville. Yeah, my bad.
I gotcha. Well, Christmas came early, gentlemen. Number one player in the nation.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy, One Bite Pizza guy. He said he was going to pony up the millions, and he lived up to his word. This is what's scary for everybody. Listen very carefully here. Michigan's got a large alumni that are very rich, and we weren't really going to play this game until we kind of had to be pushed into the corner. What happened this year was not a good year, of course. We're not doing really well at all, but we really didn't want to go with that NIL money stuff, okay? But Ohio State, that was one of the things, the reason we're trying to compete with them, because we're going to get slaughtered when we play them. But I think that was part of it in competing with everybody else in college football. And the scary thought, and a notice for everybody, that Michigan alumni have plenty of money. This could get really scary. We could really be super, super good. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. And it's to me, it's just, I know it's the time. I know it's the era that we're in now in college football, but I hate the fact, Drew, that we're sitting here and we've got deep pockets. We can go out and we can buy. I mean, if Iowa went out and bought Bryce Underwood, I'd probably be feeling the same way. Great. We got the number one quarterback. We had the money. I just hate the fact that college football now has become to the point where we're talking about kids who haven't even played a snap of college football. Not even a snap. They're still coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And we're talking about $12 million for them to come to a college
campus. I'm
not
in favor of it at all. I mean, I don't. That's not what NIL was supposed to be. I know the kid's got a great brand coming out of high school, but he hasn't made a play. And
this isn't a disrespect to Michigan or the kid or anything like that. Hey, if Michigan outbid him to get him, that's great. I mean, good. That's good for the program. But I hate that that's what we're talking about with college football.
I mean, he got his money doubled, man. If the speculation is true, you can't blame him. Like T-Bob Hebert said yesterday, on Scone and T-Bob, or Scone and T, I should say. And this was a night show that they did on YouTube. I mean, he's like, look, this completely sucks. I want this kid, but he goes, if I had been in the same position coming out of high school and another school doubled my money. He's like, it's very difficult to turn down.
Well, he's a generational quarterback, and that holds well for us. But see, here's the thing that is in my favor is that I'm a lot older than you guys. So, you're seeing what's going on with college football, and all three of us do not like this at all, period. And there's a lot more of us that really have no say-so because we're not a booster. We don't really have that kind of cash. But, maybe you two do. I know I don't. But the point is this. The only good thing about this when it comes to that is I'm older, so I'm going to be leaving this world before you guys. And I won't have to see what this is going to end up like. This is just the beginning of it, fellas. Can you predict to me right now how this is going to end? I think it's going to end terrible, and I don't know where this is going to go. Are these guys going to play pro ball when they make money like this? Would you guys play if you had that kind of money when you graduated college? Would you really go and abuse your body and play pro football? Because it's a major step up from college football to pros, night and day, and people are breaking legs all over the place. I should know that. I've had a couple breaks on my team and Lions. But the point is this. I'm going to hang up. What do you guys think how this is going to end up in the end? I'll let you go.
Look, starting quarterbacks in the NFL are making $30 and $40 million a year, man.
Sometimes even more, yeah.
Yeah, so it's still – this is $3 million a year to $40 million a year. It's life-changing money to get in college, but the real money is still in the NFL. Okay, if you want to set your family up for the rest of their lives, and I'm talking about for 100 years.
Yeah, I agree. You're still going to go. The reason why he's going to college is so that he can get to the NFL. He's not that type. Bryce Underwood is not going to college to leave college with $12 million. I mean, he wants to be a star in the NFL.
What we're going through in the early stages, Scott, before I know you go on, and it's kind of like what Dan said.
Oh, I love the 2-liter.
Remember this. Remember years ago in the NFL, even 20 years ago, I guess Sam Bradford was the last one. But remember before they passed the rookie salary cap, rooks could make like $50 million before they ever played it down, and half the time they wouldn't live up to the money. And there was a lot of resentment because they would be the highest paid player on the team and had done nothing. Okay. So the NFL had to change it. They're going to have to change it in the college model because there's no way Bryce Underwood should be coming in and being the highest paid player on Michigan's team. It's stupid.
Totally agree.
I mean, it's just dumb. It's not going to last. So he better enjoy it, and he better live up to it because I'm going to tell you what, first time he threw 2 interceptions, if I'm the left tackle, I'm going to say, you throw one more interception, I'm going to put my foot up your ass. So play better football.
I like the 2-liter, by the way.
Yeah, had to have that this morning. Got to have some caffeine.
All right. Let's get a break in. When we come back, go back out to the phone lines. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Had a wreck at Governor's West and Cabela Drive. They may still be trying to clear that one. That one had an injury and I think a fire hydrant damaged. And we got one on the Parkway at Medeiros. It's reported as an injury type. Still may be trying to get it clear. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join us all season long as we get you ready for primetime NFL action every Monday night. Along with Kevin Harlan, Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, and the entire Westwood One team will take you inside the locker rooms and the stadiums for exclusive previews and all the play-by-play action. Every week on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
97.7 ESPN The Zone is your home for Army football, and the #1 sports radio station in the Tennessee Valley wants to send you and a guest to see the 125th edition of America's Game, as Army and Navy will meet in our nation's capital on December 14th. It's simple. Just tell us your patriotic story or tribute, and we'll pick the one that rings red, white, and blue. And a pair of tickets to see the game will be for you. Just send your entry to 97.7 WZZN events at gmail.com. That's 97.7 WZZN events at gmail.com. Make your story count, as it's just one entry per household. So let your fingers do the talking and send us your story today. Entries must be sent to 97.7 ESPN The Zone by Friday, December 6th. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Army football. It's something special in college athletics, and we want you to be there. November in Alabama means one thing.
Alabama and this SEC football arch rival meet in the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl.
What is Arkansas?
Nope. Listen for full coverage of the Iron Bowl right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Correct response. What is Auburn?
Oh, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. You heard the commercial. Make sure you get in your Army-Navy patriotic story or tribute to 977 WZZN events at gmail.com. You got until December 14th. The winner is going to get a pair of tickets to go see the Army-Navy game in our nation's capital on December 14th, the 125th edition. The jersey reveals have been made. Those videos are just epic if you've not seen any of them. But anyway, go get out there. Send them in. 97.7 WZZN events at gmail.com. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Mark from Spring Hill is with us. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, morning, guys. Well, it's unbelievable, this $3 million deal. My question would be, is it guaranteed money? All right. Does he have a contract? Which I would say is no and no, right?
No, he has a contract. He has agents. He has a contract. They were, as I said, they were the agents were on the phone with LSU before he flipped, dotting I's, crossing T's, and getting everything written in writing. Yes, I mean he does have, these guys that now have agents. They have representation, and everything is going to be written in stone when he gets there. So he's going to get his $3 million. He just better not fall on his face. But if he does, he'll be the most expensive bench guy in the country. And again, it's going to be up to Sharon Moore, who I haven't been impressed with thus far. Now we'll see with better talent if he does a better job. But his first year has been underwhelming, to say the least. But it's hard to follow Jim Harbaugh and all the talent that went out the door. They're going to obviously flip Derek Meadows from Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas, who's been committed to LSU for a long time. They're trying to buy one of Alabama's offensive tackles as far as one of their commitments, Ty Haywood. He's admitted he's never even been to Ann Arbor, never been to Michigan. They're trying to set up a visit so they can buy him because they stink. And that's the bottom line. They haven't been very good this year. And you heard Wolverine Dan, they weren't really going to play the NIL game to the highest level, but they realized in the climate right now, that's the only shot they've got, because they're about to get whacked by Ohio State. Probably they've won 3 in a row, but they're probably going to lose by 3 or 4 touchdowns coming up, after Thanksgiving. So That's what I'm saying. They know they've got to get better and get better in a hurry. But that's why Scott was talking about, you've got to get guardrails up. You've got to have some kind of revenue sharing and salary cap, because it's ridiculous that some dude that he may be generational. Everybody keeps calling him generational, but look, I've seen other quarterbacks that were supposedly generational that weren't very good. So we'll see how good this kid is. He can do a backflip and all that other crap, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a great college QB.
And here's the thing too. Here's the thing. Keep in mind when these kids commit, we talk about this on this show all the time. And Pat from Tuscaloosa will call and he'll be like, hey, look, we got this guy committed and this guy committed. This is where you can't hold your breath on commits anymore, because these kids are committing. And you look at this. I mean, Bryce Underwood had been committed to LSU forever.
Almost a year. Yep.
And we are what, 2 weeks away, probably about 2 weeks away from National Signing Day. And now he flips. I mean, so LSU is scrambling now, and they're going to try to go out and get a quarterback. I guarantee you they're going to try to bid, maybe play the game, bid, try to get a quarterback. Well, guess what? They're probably going to take some quarterback that's been committed from another school as well. And,
I mean, they had $6 million supposedly already on the table for, set aside for Bryce Underwood.
Yes.
That's going to go to somewhere else,
And that's going to take another commit from another school.
My thing is this, guys. This is I'm going to call it what it is. It's downright criminal. And the reason I use that word criminal is these are, regardless of the rules right now, if you're a fan of Michigan, and I'll tell you this, if Alabama starts doing this, and this is what we're about, it's like, Coach Saban left for a reason. This is one of them, by the way. And so my bottom line is they better get this fixed quick, or the integrity of the game and the fans, and I'm one of them, will be done. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Mark. Well, I'll say this. Mark is not the only one across the country that probably feels that way, especially when you wake up today and you hear these numbers for a college kid that hasn't even played college football, and you're getting $12 million a year. There's a lot of people that feel that way, Drew. He's not the only one. Brandon is with us as well this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning.
I hope my girl Ace Austin down there in Spring Garden gets some of that money. She scored 49 the other night in an 80-50 win, and that's surpassed 3,000 points in a career.
Tremendous young lady.
Doing work, big time work. So I hope they break her off some of that money, make her life a little comfortable. Big time games coming up tonight, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to this Fife and Piedmont game.
Yeah, it should be a big time game.
Yeah,
man.
I'd go.
Fife and Piedmont.
Throwing down at Piedmont.
Yeah, and Piedmont's got a turf field. Great facilities.
I know Fife doesn't have Logan Anderson, but I mean, I'd still go.
Yeah, it's going to be
They didn't stop them last week. Boy, they looked good.
Yeah.
I feel like they've rounded into form, and then you're sitting here looking, you got Fort Payne at Oxford. And
love me some Fort Payne right now. Love me some Fort Payne, but I just think Oxford is way too talented. I hope Fort Payne can play that one well, but I just think Oxford's too talented.
Coach Elmore's done a great job. You're going to Oxford. They've got great facilities. Sam Adams is got building that program back up to where Keith Etheridge left it before he went to Auburn, and that'll be a heck of a matchup. But yeah, especially considering that Oxford's got the home field, you probably have to favor the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the Cherokee County Warriors versus Brooks.
And Brooks has won about 9 or 10, and I think they've won 10 in a row. Yeah, I think they were 0-2 under Tim Bowens. I think they've won 10 in a row.
Yeah, they're 10-2, so they're putting it down. And then you got Wadley at Berry and Winfield at Mars Hill Bible.
Dang it! Wish Spring Garden could have beat Berry.
No. Mars Hill Bible, that I mean, you don't want to make that trek because that's going to take you halfway across the state of Alabama. But I would favor I think Mars Hill can win that one, especially playing at home.
Yeah, Daryl Higgins, they do a great job. And they're used to winning in the playoffs. Mars Hill's got a really good football team. We know, what they did to Madison Academy, who had a solid year under Bob Godsey, the first game of the year.
Well, I was in Fife yesterday. I'm telling you, them people, I think they stay on ready. I think that's what they live for. They were so fired up yesterday. And I was thinking about that game, and I thought, that's not far from my house, Piedmont, extra 10, 12 minutes from over at Spring Garden. So I think I may make the trek down there to that game tonight. And, Scott, I'll try to keep you up to date on the score and let you know what's going on down there. Because I imagine that one's probably going to be – that game will be upper 30s, lower 40s per team. That's just kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, I appreciate the updates on the score. The only bad thing is we do not have a Woody Anderson Ford High School football scoreboard show powered by the Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware tonight. We put that show to rest for the season last week. So
yeah, we usually do it after the second week. That's usually kind of the pattern we've had.
It to bed.
I mean, we're not going to be StreamYard linking it from Scott's Hotel after UAH gets a big win, hopefully over.
It'd be the bus.
Yeah.
It'd be on the bus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they wouldn't wait for you. That's right. You'd have to do that'd be really that. Then you really
Coach,
then you're really at the mercy of the frickin' I've been there of the service.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, guess what? I need you to wait till 11 o'clock tonight to go home because we got to do a show.
Or you'd be like this, Scott, sit with the Huntsville.
Yeah.
Sports Commission.
Scoreboard. Get to it.
Yeah. All right, I'm not constipated, everybody. That's not going to get me fined either.
No, but there's a lot of things that will. All right, Brandon, thanks for the phone call, bud. Enjoy the safe travels wherever you go tonight. We got to get a break in. When we come back, we'll talk some more high school football, talk some college football as well. We got to set that stage for what will be a great weekend of college football. And it's a weekend that we didn't get when we had a 4-team playoff.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. This Friday, we'll see mostly sunshine, high temperatures only topping out in the low 50s for the afternoon. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour will continue to be possible. Heading into our Friday night, a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures fall into the mid-30s for the overnight. Probably going to be waking up to some areas of patchy frost for our Saturday. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a new wreck northbound on 53 at Research Park. Got a couple in Morgan County, Hudson Road and Ryan Crest. That one had an overturned vehicle. Also, Apple Grove and Pines is coming in as a no injury. Got one in Moulton, 157 and 36 that may have an injury. Parkway in Madeiras reported with injury. May still be trying to clear it. Officers, construction workers, and first responders are putting their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Neck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hi, this is Chris Stewart. The quest for a 19th championship starts this fall. Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 7:40 on a Friday morning, 256-576-4977. If you want to join the program, join the show this morning. Coming up, just to let you know what we have coming up at the top of the hour. You're going to be able to hear from Thomas Ashworth, AL.com, talk a little high school football playoffs.
Yep.
And then Chip English will join us at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, the interim head coach of the Hoover Bucks, former head coach of Albertville, former head coach at Grissom. He'll join us as his Bucks are in a semifinal game. Now, remember, there's one less round in the 7A playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So they are in the semifinal round tonight, and they've got their hands full against a team that we know from North Alabama, and that is Central Phoenix City, because they came up here in the first round and got by James Clemens. So it's Hoover and Central Phoenix City, but it's always good to catch up with Chip English. Oh, it'll be good to catch up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very proud of what he's accomplished, and we certainly were a part of his journey here in North Alabama at Grissom and at Albertville. And he's done something and done a remarkable job in a very difficult situation. And he's stabilized Hoover, got them back contending for state championships. And as you said, I mean, they've got to go on the road and play the defending 7A champion over at Phoenix City. But after what they've already been through this year and already beat Thompson in overtime, and they've already won the 7A Region 3, this is a program that has very high expectations that every year they want to win a state championship. And they haven't done so since, I think, 2017. So it's been a while, but they certainly are still a very proud program and one of the most decorated in state history. And Coach English has done a remarkable job this year.
All right, that's all coming up here in a little bit. College football Saturday. We've got another fantastic weekend of college football coming up on Saturday. Now, if this was the 14 playoffs, kind of like last year, you would have only had about 8 teams in college football. 8 teams, not 8 games.
Yeah.
8 teams, period. Kind of focusing in on the college football playoffs. Now, this weekend alone, we have
Ole Miss would already be done.
Yeah, they'd already be done, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 games. 7, 8, 9, 10. You could say we have about 10 games in college football. Games, not teams, games that actually mean something. We've talked a lot about the SEC, but keep in mind, and we'll have this game for you as well, you got Notre Dame and Army this weekend. Okay, both teams have something on the line there. You've got number 8 Miami and Wake Forest. The Hurricanes were off last week. They're going to try to rebound from losing to Georgia Tech, their first loss. A second loss coupled with an SMU win will eliminate Miami from the ACC championship game. So they could be done. Drew, you got Texas A&M at Auburn, which we've talked about. You've got Iowa State at Utah. That's a game that we need to pay attention to because the Cyclones win. They could still be in the Big 12 title game. UNLV, San Jose State. That's a group of 5 game that has implications. And Colorado State at Fresno State for some odd reason. But the Rams are unbeaten in the Mountain West, and they could get into the title game and could throw a wrench in Boise State's plans.
Let's go Rams. Let's go Rams.
And then, I mean, you still have SMU hanging around. They are the ACC's only unbeaten. That sounds odd to say, but they can't afford a loss if they want to pick up an at-large bid. I mean, their only way in is by winning the conference. You got BYU at Arizona State. That game has meaning. And then you have Colorado at Kansas. That game has meaning. I tell you what, as much as we have talked about the 12-team playoffs and you know, the SEC does need to play 9 conference games and all the tiebreakers and everything, it has done what it was intended to do, I believe, and that is create conversation this late in the season with more teams in college football.
Well, that's what they wanted to do. Now we'll see how the playoff comes off. And personally, I'd like to see a Final Four of all SEC teams just to see the Danny Cannells of the world just disintegrate.
Explode?
Yeah.
He is still on his horse about
sure
how
he
the
is.
Yeah. I don't think he'll get off of it.
No, I doubt it. Hooray for Danny. Hooray at last. Hooray for Danny. He's a horse's ass.
Did you just come up with that?
It's actually a spinoff. I don't know if you it's from the matter of fact, it's just funny. I was listening to national ESPN radio and then you played the Jameis Winston clip about NFL films.
Yeah.
That basically was a song that you remember the Over the Hill gang from the Washington Redskins days with George Allen. They sung that to Coach George Allen after they won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That was just
because I was like, that was very impressive. If you,
right.
I mean, I was like, that is very impressive. If you
now,
just
when you were saying all this, when you were saying about horses and on his high horse and stuff, it just clicked. I was like, there you go.
Oh, that is good.
There you go.
That is good. Yeah. Well, I am sure after this weekend, I mean, college football has provided upsets every weekend. And I am sure there's one or two out there that'll happen this weekend. And if it does, the college football playoff picture will become a little bit more clear. That is one thing. All right. What is it? 7:45. Let's get a break in. Because when we come back, we got to wrap up hour 1 of Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a no injury wreck reported 565 westbound near Old Madison Pike. Got 53 northbound at Research Park. Got one in Morgan County, Hudson Road and Ryancrest Road. That one had an overturned vehicle. One in Moulton, 157 and 36. And they're still working Apple Grove and Pines Road in Morgan County. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. Ask about their military, law enforcement, and senior discounts at D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your Your shingles, we can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, the Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. That feels good right there. I like that little one. That one feels good. One of the things we've not had a chance to touch on, Drew, is the newest class of the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame was announced on Wednesday.
Yep.
And, man, some of the names on this are just – it is so impressive. Courtney Beasley, former Butler High basketball standout, went to Southern Miss. He's on the list.
Championship run started for Butler.
Yep. Bobby Lee Hurt is on the list.
Did not know he wasn't in yet.
Yeah, me too. I was surprised by that one. Tashika Morris,
one of the great girls players of all time in our city.
Israel Raybon.
Oh, we see him every day. Well, every week.
Yes, he's over at Bill Penny, but he North Alabama.
Played on some great teams for Lee.
Dwight Scales is going in. Jason Swain, former Grissom Tiger, is going in.
Former teammate of John Summerall. That's his claim to fame.
Tom Pruitt. Dale Palmer is going in.
Yep. 6-time state champ.
Jeff McCorvey. He's the bowling coach at Alabama A&M. He guided them to the 2006 runner-up finish in the NCAA tournament. SWAC titles in 07 and 10. Carlos Matthews is going in. And then Brian Campy is going in. NASCAR genius, basically. He's a technical director of Legacy Motorsports, owned by Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty. And then the late Cecil Hurt is going in as well.
Yes, I very much want to be at this year's ceremony. Everybody knows what Cecil Hurt meant to me. I think in so many in our state, and a lot of people in our community know, but many around the state of Alabama may not know that Cecil was a Butler High grad, proud rebel from Huntsville. And then I still think became as the greatest sports writer in the state's history. I know he was, what drew me to the media and to journalism when I was growing up. And then having a chance to work alongside him, cover games, cover football, cover basketball, and get to know him personally. Have him come to speak to our North Alabama Tide fans group. Just an amazing guy. So cerebral, so intelligent, but so well versed. He had such a gift for the written word, and he was a guy that never. He could have gone and worked for the New York Times. He was that good, that well respected, but he wanted to stay in his home state. Wanted to stay in Tuscaloosa, where he loved Alabama, and cover the Tide. And he was an amazing man. If you got to know him, it was just it was just such a resource and again, not just for Alabama football, but for so many things. You could sit there, and he was such a well-versed and educated guy, and so intelligent, kind of a Renaissance man, but just one of the great writers we've ever seen. And he knew so many things, and I just hate that we haven't had him for the last several years to read his written word, and then for him to even write a book eventually, if he had chosen to do so, about all of his experiences and what he knew about the University of Alabama. There was not somebody in the media more trusted than Cecil Hurt, and that's the best way you can put it. He was a guy that the University of Alabama trusted implicitly, and that was respected nationally. And it's awesome that his home town and the area where he grew up before he moved on to Tuscaloosa and became such a media icon in our state and so well respected. It's great that he's being recognized.
Let's go out to the phone lines real fast. Richard is with us. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Richard.
Morning, guys. On the football playoff, are they going to do any kind of seeding, or do the conference champs get to go kind of get a bye?
So the 4 highest ranked conference champions will get a bye in the college football playoffs. It could be, you would assume the Big Ten and the SEC are locked into that. And then after that, you've got the Big 12, the ACC, and the Group of 5 or Group of 4 in there as well. So you have 3 other conferences vying for those other 2 automatic bye spots.
The one thing is with that, in basketball, you get an upset or something in the first round, but usually it takes to the second round a lot of times to get a lot of close games. To where you're an Alabama versus, North Carolina type thing. For this one, you may have better games in the first round and have blowouts in the second.
Yeah, because
Alabama can end up playing like BYU or something.
Well, the first round, the way that the brackets, the way that the rankings came out this past Tuesday, if you bracketed it all, Alabama's first round game would have been on the road at Notre Dame.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Have you been to South Bend, Richard?
Not to see Alabama. I saw Syracuse and Notre Dame play in a little bit of snow where they were throwing snowballs at Charlie Weiss before the game.
Oh, yeah. I think you told that story.
Yeah. So it was nice and cold. So I have been there, but I have not been to see Bama play there. And if you play in December, it's probably going to be cold there. So
no doubt.
I'm just thinking you may have some blowouts. The second round, not the first round, is the crazy thing. The way because like I said in basketball, after about one game, you've kind of whittled out your. I don't want to name Jacksonville State, but Jacksonville State or UNA, they've kind of whittled those guys out, and you may have an upset here or there. But by the time you get to Saturday, you got your 32 best teams, or 34, whatever it is, best team for this. You may have somebody, one of these conference champs, luck into where they should be playing the first round, realistically.
Oh yeah, look, I had my meltdown earlier this week when Scott made it plainly aware to me that Boise State, which I had not honestly paid attention to, because again, these rankings are interesting, but I'm waiting for down the road. I had seen the rankings the couple weeks before. I did not realize that things had shifted to the point where Boise State is in one of the buys and they're in the top 4, which is absolutely ridiculous.
You may have like the Georgia TCU mess.
Georgia versus Wofford. Yeah.
I mean, basically you'll have nobody watching the game. I mean, like that game, I worked a little late, got in, watched the last 3 minutes of the first half, and turned it off and went to bed. I mean, it was over. And then you may have a lot of games like that just due to not seeding.
Thanks, Richard, for the phone call. We are up against that hour break. He's exactly right. We could have first round. You could have first round blowouts, or you could have second round blowouts, depending on how some of this all unfolds. Well, let's talk about high school football. Thomas Ashworth will join us coming up after the break.
Doubt there's many blowouts tonight, bro.
Yeah, and he also put out our James Clemens story from Chad McGehee yesterday as well.
Yep.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This Action Update is brought to you by GBank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. VSiN.com/GBank.
Thursday Night Football, the Browns beat the Steelers 24-19. The Browns paid plus 165 with the upset. The Steelers were favored by 3.5. The over-under was 37. Looking ahead, the Packers favored by 3 at home against the 49ers. Arizona by 1 on the road at Seattle. The Rams by 3 at home against Philadelphia. Denver's a 6-point favorite on the road at Vegas. The Texans by 7.5 against Tennessee. Kansas City is favored by 10.5 at Carolina. Washington by 10.5 at home against the Cowboys. Detroit by 7 at Indianapolis. The Vikings by 3.5 at Chicago. Miami by 7.5 against New England. Tampa by 6 against the Giants. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Big thank you to SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives, helping us kick off hour number 2. And we're going to do so by joining and visiting with a guest that we've had a chance to visit with several times during the high school football season, during the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Even though we don't have the show, it's still fun to say. We'll have to get used to someone new next year. But anyway, it's been good to have him a part of that show on Friday nights. He's been busy. He'll be busy again this Friday night with high school football playoffs.
Yes, he will. He's new to our community, but he's done a great job. And like we said, this has been his first full football season here, and he's been a regular guest on Scott Tyson's High School Football Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, Scott. One more time for the listeners, man.
Oh, man, I love it. It's like rolling off the tongue. It's like smooth cinnamon roll with a good cream cheese icing. The Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware.
There you go. One more time, just for the memories.
Before we
of
put
this
it to
year.
bed.
Yeah.
Before we put it to bed. Yeah.
Now the show's put
needs
to bed,
to go
but not
to bed.
the playoffs. So.
No, the playoffs are not dead, and Thomas Ashworth, he's not going to go to bed anytime too early tonight, because he's got a little pigskin to write about.
Yeah, he and Jimmy Lay are going to be busy tonight for AL.com, and Thomas has been kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Talk about that. We've already had the coaching carousel turning. Scott mentioned that before we went to break, and he also did a feature story on the Huntsville Crimson Panthers and Eli Stapler, who just signed with Lee University, that's in the Gulf South Conference. Scott covers with Steve Moulton so well, and Huntsville will be on the road tonight at Buckhorn for some big-time high school basketball. But so a lot going on. How you doing, Thomas? Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good, man. And so you're going to definitely have a lot of irons in the fire. What game are you covering tonight? What's going to be the focus for Tom? I know you're going to be keeping your eye on several, but where will you be tonight in the high school football playoffs?
Yeah, I'll be making a little bit of a road trip tonight. I'll be watching Fort Payne play Oxford over in Calhoun County.
Scott's already been talking about it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I've been to Calhoun County a few times this year, but not for a football game. So I'm pretty excited about seeing Oxford play again in person. It's a cool stadium, a great program, obviously with a lot of wins. So should be a fun one against a really good Fort Payne team.
Yeah, Chris Elmore in Fort Payne. I mean, they were fortunate enough last week to get a home win over Homewood. And it was a scrappy win for them. But I mean, this is a Fort Payne team that started the year off. I mean, they'd lost to Scottsboro, they lost to Guntersville, and then they rattled off win after win after win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, 9 wins in a row to end the regular season, or 8 wins in a row to win the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, just looking back at what they've done, it's just, I mean, I don't think that they would have been able to rattle off those 8 wins without those losses to Scottsboro and Guntersville. And those are 2 really good programs. I mean, Scottsboro, they advanced to the second round and just ran into a really good Ramsey team. And then that Guntersville team, they held them to 4 points, but just a really weird case with Guntersville. I mean, losing 1 game all season, then having to go on the road in the playoffs in the first round and go play Leeds. Just a crazy scenario for that Guntersville team. But like you said, I mean, just, a crazy good turnaround. They're not in the easiest region at all. I mean, they got Gadsden City, they got a Southside Gadsden who had a really good turnaround season as well. So it wasn't easy for that team. And then, they had a good win against a solid Pelham program as well. But, a 1-point win in the first round and a 3-point win in the playoffs in the second round, they're just finding ways to win. And that's a really good Homewood team that had a historic season for that program at, that they finished 8-2, I think, in the top 10 ranking. So that's a really good win for that team. So, and they have a dang good quarterback who I think he set the record for most passing yards in a playoff game in Fort Payne history last week against Homewood. Really good quarterback, and he obviously has a lot of help around him. And, one thing about Fort Payne as well, they got a dang good kicker about every single year, it seems like. So it should be a fun one in Calhoun County.
It really should. Yeah. And then we know Sam Adams from his days. I've had him on the show from when he was had Brian Robinson Jr., who went on to Alabama and is now with the Washington Commanders. And he did a great job kind of getting that Hillcrest Tuscaloosa program turned around. He had big shoes to fill, when he went over there because of Keith Etheridge moving on to Auburn High School. But he certainly got that program back among the elite at Oxford. They're undefeated right now. Thomas, they've had a heck of a year, no question about it. And of course, when he first got there, he had the Fagans brothers transfer from Oxford to Thompson. So he's had to kind of reestablish things, but certainly he's got things going in the right direction. And they're on that short list of teams to watch. And I believe they're a 4-time state championship program. Their last title coming under Keith Etheridge in 2019. But Oxford, as you said, facility-wise, unbelievable. I know they just finished some new facilities football-wise last year, like an athletic center that looked like it was top of the line. And then we know, the expectations there are always high, but Coach Adams has done a really nice job so far.
Yeah, I mean, with those facilities, I mean, that was my old coverage area in Calhoun County, and they're just incredible. I mean, from it's my understanding that they went to the Thompsons and the Hoovers and even like the colleges around Alabama and just said, how can we make this to where it's what they do, but it's one step better. And I had the chance to go in those facilities a couple times. They're just absolutely gorgeous. There's just it's a lot of they keep the student in mind with they have a lot of classrooms, like smaller classrooms for study sessions and tutoring and things like that. The weight room is really good, things like that. And like you said, that program, that 2019 team was special with Antoine Fagans, and they had J. Rock Swain, who's now at Jack State, and Trey Higgins, who signed with Mississippi State to play baseball, and the guy Rock Taylor, who's a receiver at Memphis now, who's having a great year. And then kind of after that, whenever Etheridge left, they just kind of, had to start over. And, the way that Sam is kind of, the 2022 team went 5-6 and then 9-3. And then they were proud to be one of the best teams in 6A this year. And they have absolutely exceeded all those expectations this year. Mason Mims is a great quarterback. They've had a few really good guys kind of step up. I'm unsure about Caleb Wynn. I know he was injured in the game against Hartselle. It's unsure if he'll play, but I mean, either way, they have a bunch of weapons around them. It should be a fun matchup against two teams that have really good quarterbacks and a lot of good weapons around them for sure.
Thomas Ashworth from AL.com, kind enough to join us, talk a little high school football here real fast. I know a team that you've seen in the playoffs play, and that is the Muscle Shoals Trojans. You've managed to see them a few times this year, and tonight they are on the road taking on a stubborn and very talented Parker squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way that Muscle Shoals has had that, complete turnaround, it seems like, on defense. I mean, heading into before their second bye week, they dropped a 49-48 game against the Jasper team that was really hot, and they just kind of said, okay, we're just starting over on defense. We're just breaking down to fundamentals. We're starting a new scheme, and the players like it, and it seems to be working for them. I mean, they held a Clay Chalkville team to 21 points in the second round of the playoffs. That's a team that has a really good quarterback, a lot of good weapons around him, and a lot of FBS prospects for sure. But and then they held an awesome team to 22 points that has a really good quarterback. So they just completely turned it around on defense, and now they're just rolling in the playoffs. But they have a lot of good offensive weapons as well. I mean, Jacquez Green is a really good running back for them, and they have a really good quarterback, a couple of good receivers. But it's a Parker team that they're just on another level. I mean, you should know this better than I do, but they just have so many really good athletes, just a ton of Group of Five and even Power Five prospects all across the board, and they have one of the best players in the country in Neem Offord. It should be a really, really good test to kind of see where this Muscle Shoals team is in the grand scheme of things, but. It should be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how that team does against a Parker team that's arguably one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because this will be the third meeting all time, but they've met two other times in the playoffs in the last 3 to 4 years, and Muscle Shoals beat them very impressively. But as you said, Thomas, that Parker program starting a couple years ago really started to get better and raise their level, and now you could say they're as talented as any team, maybe even including 7A in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that they've just not only developed, but they've attracted other athletes to come in the program. And if you asked anyone, I mean, it wasn't even 5 years ago that the program was kind of in the midst of 3, 4, 5 win seasons, and now they're getting nationally televised games against Julian Jordan and one of the best teams in the country in Carrollton on national television.
Georgia, that's right. Yep.
It's just a crazy turnaround. I mean, they beat a really good Hoover team that's had an awesome turnaround. They beat a really good Mountain Brook team on the road twice. Just a crazy turnaround and just a really good stretch of success for this Parker team. It doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon.
And then, I mean, you look at it, you look at some of the other matchups going on. Thomas, what are some of the other ones tonight that you guys will be paying attention to?
Yeah, I mean, just one of the more interesting ones in Calhoun County is that 5 Piedmont game. It's a 5 team that's, it's 2 teams that have had just really crazy success over the last 10 years or so. Since 2014, either 5 or Piedmont has won a state championship, all except 1 year. Which is just insane. Just to see the way that they've, grown these programs, and 5 and Piedmont obviously have a lot of success, but with Benefield and Steve Smith at the helms, it's just another level. But this is a 5 team that they lost Logan Anderson for the season with a torn ACL. Just a bummer for them. I mean, he's a great player, really great guy. It stinks that this is the second time that he's having to miss a potential state championship run with a season-ending injury. But Ryder Gibson had a really good game in the last week's game against Gordo. Ran for 230 yards and 4 touchdowns, and they have a lot of talent as well. I mean, Blake Dobbins and Cooper Harrison were among the guys that scored for them, and it marked Paul Benefield's 70th playoff victory. So he's certainly no stranger to the playoffs, as everyone knows. But it should be a fun one against a Piedmont squad that had a really good turnaround this season. I mean, I think they won 5 games last year and under a new head coach. And obviously it's going to be an adjustment when Steve Smith goes somewhere else, but they've really turned it around under Jonathan Miller, who's a good coach as well. And they're still undefeated on the season. So it should be a fun one in Calhoun County.
Yeah, Jonathan Miller had a lot of success at Saks, and now he's moved over to Piedmont and took over for Steve Smith, who had such a great run both at Cedar Bluff, and then what he did at Piedmont was just unbelievable. And now he's turning around that Westbrook Christian program, who's got as good a 2A facilities as you're going to find. But, it's sometimes tough to fill a coach like Steve Smith's shoes, but certainly Jonathan Miller is on tap to do that. That should be one heck of a matchup. I know Piedmont's got really awesome facilities as well. And then, I've coined the phrase, Thomas, death taxes and the Fife Red Devils. Even though Logan Anderson is out for the year again, this is a very proud program, and that secret sauce that Paul Benefield has, they just know how to win. And the level of success he's had in the past decade is really just mind numbing what they've done at Fife.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few coaches that I can think of. That it's not many. It's you can count them on 2 hands. But I mean, Benefield's one of them. I think Bob Gotze's another great example of coaches you just don't want to face in the playoffs. Just the way that their reputations have perceived themselves, and the way that they've played in so many playoff games, and the way they've been able to just build programs. And Jonathan Miller's kind of the same way. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that he beat Steve Smith in the playoffs and advanced to, I think, the semifinals. And then, they lost to Piedmont again the next year, I think. But it was, there's a lot of history between these two teams as far as, just the success they've had. So it should be a fun one between 2 really good coaches.
I know where our thoughts are on the playoffs tonight, but yesterday we did have some high school football news along the way, and that was Chad McGehee, the head coach there at James Clemens, retiring from coaching football.
Yeah, it's, obviously I'm sure that better than I do, just a great guy. And, it's not a decision that was at all easy for him. But James Clemens has had really good success in the grand scheme of North Alabama high school football, one of the top programs. Should be a really attractive job, but it's good on him to, recognize that, the coach's schedule is far from easy. I think people shouting at the sidelines, run a slant route, run a slant, or like things like that. They just don't understand just how hard it is to coach and what goes into that. But the way that he's going into this and wanting to spend time with his kids, really good on him. But it definitely creates a really good opportunity in North Alabama. I mean, that's a very good job with a lot of great facilities. But yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise yesterday, but good on him. He's a great coach and a great guy.
Yeah, and I know we also had another coaching change, and it's been tough because we're certainly rooting for him. We keep crossing our fingers and toes, but Sean Watson has resigned at Columbia, and we know that the rough times they've been going through with this 91-game losing streak, which, it's just hard for any of us to fathom, because we know how hard it is how hard you work in football every week. I mean, we got excited because, they continued to compete hard, and, they had a chance to win their last game of the season against Hazel Green. And we just want to see those kids have success. And it's tough when you see them going through the trials and the tribulations that program's gone through the last 8+ years.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and Sean's a great guy, and it's tough to see, especially when it gets to a point where you say, is it better for me to stay here and be a head coach, or or evaluating options and even being an assistant at a different place? It's just a tough place. It's just, it just seems like, he has these goals, and I know he wants to be a collegiate head coach, but it's just so tough when, you can't really get a job when you're going 0-20 every single year just without much support. And it's just so tough, like you said, I'm rooting for those kids, but they had moments this year. I mean, like you said, they dropped a 10-point game to Hazel Green. I mean, they kind of had signs of life near that at the end of the game, but, it's just a tough program and a tough spot, but, hopefully whoever comes in and steps in that program, hopefully they can help make some noise in Columbia.
Hopefully so, and get them on the right track. But speaking of the right track, I'll be there tonight. They'll be at Buckhorn, two-time 6A champion under Patrick Harding. The Bucks undefeated, taking on the undefeated and number 2 6A ranked Huntsville Crimson Panthers. Both these teams were in the AL.com top 10 overall, and that's regardless of classification to start the season. In boys basketball, should be a great environment and a great basketball game tonight. But I know you were over at the signing with it was kind of Huntsville City Schools history with the 5 guys signing, the 5 senior starters for Huntsville High, all going to play college basketball. And I know you sat down with Eli Stapler and his family and did a feature that we saw on AL.com yesterday.
Yeah, just that signing was just crazy. I mean, I'm from a basketball family, and my grandpa was a coach for a long time, but I mean, I couldn't pass as a water boy. I'm 5'8", so it was a little tough for me to get into it. But just the run, the success that they've had, and just the way that they've kept those guys around, and not just kept them around, but had so much success with them. I mean, when you have 5 really good players, it's I'm sure it's just a struggle to say, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. And, it was just anybody can get hot at any point. And I'm sure that it's one of the tougher things to, balance that when you have so many good players. But in the same way, I mean, Eli is just, he was a nice guy to talk to, and his family's obviously great. And Ronnie's just a legend, to say the absolute least about him. But, just talking with Christian, he's one of the guys that, just kind of keeps that team together and gels the team. And, they kind of work through him in a way. And I'm sure that it better than I do, just the way that, it seems like the point guard role kind of has to change whenever you're in a position where you have 4 Division I players around you. So really good guy. And I'm glad I got the chance to catch up with him and his family. But, I was familiar with Ronnie when I covered Calhoun County sports, and they played Jacksonville in the state championship in 4A. I think it was 2022, and that was obviously a really good team. They had one really good player, obviously, and then they had some really good support around him. But that was a fun group, and Ronnie's legacy precedes himself. He's a great guy, and obviously one of the best coaches in Alabama State history.
Well, I'd be remiss though too if we didn't ask you. You do spend a lot of time with the Jack State football team. They are still unbeaten and on top of Conference USA right now, looking good to be there, I guess, is in the Conference USA championship game, right?
Yeah, if they win tonight, they're in. If they beat, or tomorrow night, sorry, or tomorrow morning even. It's an 11 o'clock in the morning kick. I'm gonna have to get some scrambled eggs or something. I'm not happy about that. But if they win tomorrow morning, then they're in the conference championship game. The first year that they're fully eligible to be in the conference championship game. It's just they had an 0-3 start and 3 just terrible losses. I mean, they've got blown out by Coastal Carolina and dropped an overtime loss to Eastern Michigan on the road, and then they've rattled off 7 straight wins and are holding on to the conference lead. But just a chance to bring that conference championship back to Calhoun County, and in the second year of FBS play. I mean, I don't think that a team has gone to back-to-back bowl games and won them in their first 2 years of being at the FBS level, which is just crazy. And the way that Rich Rod has turned that program into, not taking that success from the FCS level and brought it to FBS, and they're just absolutely rolling. But if they can bring that, that conference championship back to Calhoun County, and there's a chance they could win it tomorrow even, if the certain teams lose and certain teams win. So but it'll be interesting to see how that team goes against a good Sam Houston team.
Yeah, it's been an amazing year. I mean, after that 0-3 start, what a job by Rich Rod to keep his guys focused, and then they beat Liberty, which was a huge breakthrough for them. And like Scott said, have a chance now to play for a Conference USA championship. And they recently opened their new facility, that football operations building, this summer. It's amazing. They've done a great job at Jack State with their athletics, no question, and especially making the step up and competing so quickly, being an FBS program now. But it's going to be unreal. But again, Thomas, we appreciate the time. Let everybody know how to follow your coverage for AL.com. And I know you'll be, again, as we know, over in Oxford following Fort Payne and Chris Elmore in their run against Sam Adams tonight in the playoffs.
Yeah, on AL.com, we have completely free live updates from all the quarterfinal and semifinal games that we can get our hands on tonight. That's going to be completely free on AL.com, and then we'll have plenty of coverage and features and gamers on a lot of games across the state, especially North Alabama. I think we'll have just about every game covered. So it should be a fun night, and hopefully we'll have some teams, that'll advance in North Alabama, because it should be a fun night.
All right. Well, good stuff, Thomas. Safe travels. Safe travels this weekend.
Yes,
You're going to be a busy man.
Yes, sir. Y'all too. Appreciate it.
All right. Thomas Ashworth. Drew, he's a jack of all trades.
Oh, he is. He's a Swiss Army knife and living over here in the Madison area, but the traveling man doing a great job for L.com.
Yep. He's got a little high school football, a little high school basketball, and then he'll wake up tomorrow and do JSU or Jack State
and
football.
have him some eggs.
Scrambled eggs. Man, that sounds so good.
Here we go.
It's too cold, though, to walk anywhere.
Is there not a Waffle House like in the parking lot or something?
Dude, they don't know Waffle House up here.
That's right. We're in Illinois. I'm calling them noise instead of Illinois. I know they don't like probably being called Illinois.
We actually had somebody ask that on the bus yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Is it noise or no? Is it noise or noise? Yeah. Anyway, got to get a break in. Phone lines back open to you, 256-576-4977. Talking Ball on 97.7.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They're still showing that wreck on 565 westbound near Old Madison Pike. That one came in as a no injury. Northbound 53 at Research Park reported no injury. Had an overturned vehicle in Morgan County, Hudson Road and Ryan's Crest. They were waiting on a trooper. Still may be trying to clear one in Moulton, 157 and 36. Show Scholar Dollars, Legends in Concert Series is bringing Grammy Award winner Kathy Mattea to UNA. It's this Sunday. Tickets are available at showscholardollars.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go Higher and go Army.
Follow the Tide right here. Hi, this is Chris Stewart of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Your home of all things Bama is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Yo, Trey, drop the verse. It's going down, fade to Black Street. The homies got at me, collab creations. Bump like agony, no doubt. I put it down, never slouch. As long as my credit could vouch, a dog couldn't catch me.
Wow.
Tell me who could stop with Dre making moves, attracting honeys like a
little Dre.
And it's censored.
It is, so he doesn't get fined. So he doesn't get fined. We're all here, so we do. We're you know what? We're all here, so we don't get fined each and every day.
Absolutely.
We are. Just like everybody is listed as day to day on the availability report.
Student athlete availability report.
That's right. Student athlete availability report. We can't
Some
call
of them get paid
like,
$3 million a year before they ever play it down. You better be good, pal.
It's we can't call anything, it's like it's not the 2-minute warning in college football. It's the 2-minute timeout. So, anyway. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. You can be a part of the experience, the extravaganza, whatever you want to call it, this morning.
Who would have thought that Rasheed Wallace and Marshawn Lynch would change pop culture with the I'm just here so I don't get fined, dog.
You are right on that.
Yeah.
You are right.
That's the first time I ever heard it.
Well, you know what?
I didn't realize that in the Super Bowl, I guess they have to, but I didn't realize even, during the NBA, when you're supposed to, when you have availability after games, I thought that was just like a choice. I didn't realize you had to do it.
That you had to do it. Well, here's the thing, though. If dumbasses wouldn't write a bunch of stupid columns, it wouldn't be a problem. There's just a lot of stupid words being printed these days that that's the problem.
Right.
People are just writing dumbass stuff.
Or having YouTube channels where there's just nothing but hot takes. Seriously, I see so much YouTube now. No. It's nothing but hot take patrol. I mean, it's just
I know, but we could add to it. We could go Talking Ball After Dark.
Oh, look out.
And we could record one.
Yeah.
And then nobody would worry about getting fined.
I know T-Bob certainly doesn't.
Oh man.
It was a rough one.
It looked like he passes out after an LSU loss.
They were at a local restaurant though. He got a some kind of turkey burger.
Well, I'd pass out after eating that too.
Well, fully loaded.
I mean,
hey, we had a good turkey dinner here yesterday. It was interesting. I'd never had turkey casserole before, man.
Define turkey casserole.
Well, I mean, it was just turkey. It was cheese. It was it was almost like stuffing mixed in with it. It was like it was all mixed together. I thought it was rather interesting myself. I'd never.
So you
had
just took
So
basically, it was like a Thanksgiving lunch. The turkey, the dressing, just combined it all into one and baked it.
He went to get it.
Yes. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
A little bit of sweet potatoes on the side too. You had some green beans.
The sweet potatoes was really good, man. The sweet potato casserole, man, it tasted like pumpkin pie.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was legit.
Okay.
So, and then I know you aren't you a cranberry sauce person?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't do the cranberry sauce.
Well, there was a little bit of cranberry sauce. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
Yeah, and then kind of a hand pie kind of thing, a small pie. I got the chocolate version. I heard there was a chess pie version. I didn't get to try that.
See, now I've had chess pie. I've had that at Miss Mary Bobo's up there in Lynchburg. Yeah, a chess pie, if it's good, chess pie is very good.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. It's 8:30. We've got to get a break in because when we come back, our good friend Chip English, the interim head coach of the Hoover Bucks.
Hopefully the permanent head coach after this run.
We're rooting for him.
Yes.
We're rooting for him. When you become part of the Talkin' Ball family, you become part of the family for life. And Chip English is part of our family for life. So we've got to get a break in. When we come back, Chip English will join us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday night, we'll sit under a partly cloudy sky, low temperatures falling into the low to mid 30s. We can continue to see wind gusts as high as 15 miles per hour. Heading into our Saturday, probably going to be starting off to some areas of patchy frost. Otherwise, we'll see plenty of sunshine, high temperatures warming into the mid and upper 50s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They're still showing that wreck on 565 westbound near Old Madison Pike. That one came in as a no injury. Northbound 53 at Research Park reported no injury. Had an overturned vehicle in Morgan County, Hudson Road and Ryan's Crest. They were waiting on a trooper. Still may be trying to clear one in Moulton, 157 and 36. Show Scholar Dollars Legends in Concert Series is bringing Grammy Award winner Kathy Mattea to UNA. It's this Sunday. Tickets are available at showscholardollars.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
All right, 8:35 on a Friday morning. Welcome back in Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in. It is another round of the high school football playoffs coming your way tonight all across North Alabama. So best of luck to all of our North Alabama teams still playing for that blue map. But tonight on the 7A level, remember they have one less round in 7A. So tonight it is the semifinals for Class 7A. The winners will play in the finals. Now, they will have a week off after tonight, and then they will play 2 weeks. They'll play after Thanksgiving. The week after Thanksgiving, they will play for a 7A state championship, and our next guest hopes to be cutting that turkey and working on a game plan all in the same time next week.
No question. We've known him very well since his days as the head football coach at Grissom High School, where he turned that program around. Before that, he was at West Caldwell in the state of North Carolina and turned that program in from one that was struggling so much and had gone 6-60. Then he won the conference championship his last year there, going 10-3. And then after spending 4 years at Grissom, they were 6-5, and in the 7A playoffs, he spent 2 years at Albertville before taking an assistant coach's job at Hoover. He was going into his second year with the Bucks, and then we know what happened off the field with Coach Drew Gilmer, who we've had on this show, who had much success at Clay Chalkville. Matter of fact, won a 6A state championship last year. But again, a very difficult situation. But this, our next guest has been through it. He's a builder, and now he's taken over one of the best high school football programs in the country and quickly had gotten them back on the right track. And that's Chip English. And they'll be headed to Central of Phoenix City tonight to take on the defending 7A state champion Red Devils. But I know they're a group that's very battle-tested. They're coming off of a huge 32-29 win last week that was able to advance them to this semifinal opportunity. And they've had a great season, and it's going to be great to catch up with him now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach English, welcome back to Huntsville with Drew and Scott. It's great to speak with you. I know it's a busy time for you, but I appreciate you carving out a few minutes for us.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. It's been a while, so it's good to hear y'all and get to chat a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a lot to chat about, and especially with your football team tonight, Coach. Man, what a ride it has been this year for you, becoming that interim head coach, and really, I mean, we talk about hitting the ground running, Coach. You had to hit the ground running hard.
Yeah, the big thing is everybody's a little bit different, and I was, I'm different from Drew Gilmer. Drew Gilmer's different from Mark Freeman. Like, everybody's different and the way they do things. And even though while I was on, the staff here, I had to make it mine a little bit. I tried to keep everything in flow as much as possible from what we were going. So, and me being the offensive coordinator, that didn't change much offensively from what we were doing. So the kids did a great job in that transition. And, when you find out some news like that, and then you're getting on a plane 3 weeks later to go play a top 100 team in the country, you better figure it out quick or you'll get embarrassed. So really proud of our guys for what they've been able to accomplish this year. And, through the adversity, and our guys are full head of steam now. We don't even consider, that an issue anymore. So we're focused on what's in front of us.
Yeah, no question. And I know you were always heavy-handed when you were at Grissom and at Albertville, and of course at West Caldwell, when you were basically your own play caller, and you were heavily involved with the offense. So moving to the head coach's spot, you're used to being a leader of men, but you're also used to coordinating the O, and you were the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coaches the 2 years at Hoover under Wade Waldrop, and then of course you were going to play that role under Drew Gilmer. You're just sliding a seat over, and again with the 7 years you'd had, certainly it's a more high profile job at Hoover, but it's one you're very comfortable leading young men. And this is a program that certainly, as we talked about before you came on, Coach, one of the most storied in Alabama history and in the United States. But it's something that I know with the challenges you took on at your other jobs, which were rebuilding jobs, this was again a different kind of circumstance, but one that I know you were comfortable with being the face of the program.
It is. And really what it comes down to is the relationships. When we talk about building and all that stuff, I mean, yeah, you're going to build football players, but, the biggest thing is building young men and the relationships that you have with them. So my approach is the same when I was at West Caldwell, Grissom, and Albertville. You build trust, you stay consistent in your approach with the guys, not only, personally, but then, on the field as well. And when the guys see you come to work every day and you're kind of getting your hands dirty per se, and really working hard right alongside your staff and your team, I think that goes a long way in the trust building side of things. And so when those guys realize, hey, there's nothing really crazy going on here, we're working every day for a common goal. And when you can do that and build the culture, you can have special results. And honestly, the plays that we call here isn't that much different than the plays that I called at Grissom or West Caldwell or Albertville, and so it's just kind of the group that you have, and we're a talented group. I was blessed to take over a really good roster, guys that are capable of doing some special things. So, but you still have to tie it together, because the realization, y'all know this, in 7A every week we're playing SEC talent and guys that are going all over the country. So we were able to put it together, and the coaching, that says a lot about our coaching staff and that. But honestly, it's not that much different. Yeah, it is a high-profile job, and I do regard this as one of the best in the country, and I'm honored to kind of be in this position, and hopefully that can continue. But it's a matter of coming to work every day. It's a matter of getting out there. It rained Tuesday, and guess what? It rained everywhere. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not just other jobs that experience, adversity and difficult situations. You handle them here just like you handle them everywhere, and the kids have responded well to that.
Well, Coach, it's been a remarkable run this season, with everything. But take us through last week. It was probably one of the best high school football games in the state of Alabama last week. You don't play just one overtime. You don't play two overtimes. You've got to go to 3 overtimes to get that win against Opelika last week.
Yeah, it was crazy. Guys responded really well. We jumped out on them 16-0. I thought it probably should have been 21-0. They called a safety instead of a strip sack. But, we came out hot. We felt good about things, knowing that Opelika is a good team, and they were going to fight back. And They did. They actually had 23 unanswered points, going into the second through the third quarter, and our guys didn't bat an eye. We came back and tied it up 23-23. Both teams had, I think, one or two possessions before the end of the game and just couldn't get anything going offensively. We were able to flip the field a couple times, which really helped us. And then you go into overtime, and we've been there before. We had a big win for a region championship against Thompson a couple weeks ago in overtime. So our guys felt confident, because we've been in that situation before, but couldn't find the end zone. Defense did a great job. And we just stayed patient, and we just stayed patient, settled for field goals when we had the opportunity. I was a little aggressive earlier in the year. We beat Hewitt, went for 2 late in the game to win that game, but just didn't feel like it was appropriate to go for it on 4th down. And we took the field goals. We felt good about our operations on special teams, and the patience paid off because ultimately our defense came up big with a big interception, and then we put the ball through the uprights for the third time in the third overtime. So able to come away with a win, but it was exciting. I would have definitely rather had the win in regulation, but we'll take what we can get.
Well, yeah, and certainly you beat Thompson in overtime to win 7A Region 3. It's amazing. I've been following your team once you took over as head coach, of course, even closer, just seeing how you guys were doing week to week, Coach. And you guys have had 6 games go down to basically the latter stage, if not the last play of the game, 1 possession. I mean, it's been a very difficult schedule, as you would expect Hoover to play. But, I mean, half the games have been 1-score contests against some of the best teams in Alabama and as you said, throughout the United States.
Yeah, our schedule, we flew down to Miami earlier in the year and faced a really, really good Western team. And then you come back and you play a Spain Park team that's really tough, and we lost a close one. So our guys are battle tested. We've come up short a couple times, Spain Park and Parker. And then we've also came up big in several ones, like the Thompson game, like the Hewitt game, and those type of games. So, in the Opelika, obviously. So our guys have seen it all. We don't think anything's necessarily new to us. So we're ready for the challenge. We know. I told those guys a couple days ago. I said, "Listen, guys, because we feel good about where we're at. We're thankful for what we're doing, but they're not ready to hang their pads up yet." And I said, guys, don't go into the game thinking that it's not going to be a dogfight now. It's going to be a big one. And so we have that mentality, and our guys are battle tested. So it'll be fun.
Well, we watched Central Phoenix City come up here and play in round 1 of the playoffs. They battled James Clemens. And, boy, you want to talk about another challenge tonight. Central Phoenix City, man, they're playing some good football coming into the semifinals as well.
Yeah, they are. Patrick Nix is not new to this. He plays late into the year every year, wherever he's at. And so he has that offense dialed up. And what we have to do, I think the big key to the game in regards to that is just eliminating the big play. Against Vestavia last week, they caught a 5-yard hitch and went 60. And so things like that we have to eliminate. And I think if we do that, it's going to be really good. Our defense settles in as the game goes on. Sometimes this year we've given up early touchdowns just because we hadn't fit up the run or did something correctly. But they typically settle in, and we need them to do that tonight. And then offensively, listen, their defense is good. You know what I mean? They've got guys all over the field. They'll man you up and bring pressure, and then they won't. They'll rush 3. So they're all over the place. But we got to play a sound game, and I think our guys are up for the challenge.
And no question. And I know that schedule gets you ready. And what's it been like, Coach? Because, I mean, you've rebuilt programs throughout your career as a head coach. And then this program's a little different. Like you just said, your message to your team was, hey, this is going to be a dogfight. Don't assume anything. And then the difference, too, is Hoover, I know they haven't won a state championship in 2017. They're kind of judged like the University of Alabama in college football. Alabama hadn't won since 20, and people try to make a big deal out of it. But this is a program that's used to making postseason runs and winning. How has it been kind of taking over the mentality of that program and trying to continue that tradition that people are so used to? I know last year they went, quote unquote, 7-5 and lost in the second round in the quarterfinals of the 7A. And we know our good friend Wade Walter was the coach, and that wasn't well received. But what's it been like trying to get this program back to what you've done, and that's the highest level of high school football in Alabama?
Yeah, the guys are itching, the players and the community. And so they've done a great job. You can only imagine the resources here at Hoover and what we provide for the athletes is second to none. And I've been everywhere, and it's what these guys get here is a college experience. Not only with our schedule, but how we treat the weight room, how we treat nutrition, academics. We really provide, in my opinion, the best in the state, if not the country. So the experience that they get here is second to none. But the big thing for them, in my opinion, is they're just itching to get back. Because it's not only the coaches that hear, oh man, Hoover needs to do this, Hoover needs to do that. The kids hear that too. And so they're ready to get back to what we feel like the standard is here, and that's being the best. And so, people forget they typically make it to the third round every year.
Yeah.
So while they might haven't won a state championship since 2017, it's not like it's just been down years. Last year was a different dynamic year, going 5-7. I was a quarterback coach last year, and the kids had a bad taste in their mouth from that. And they wanted to do something about it. And that's kind of what we told them. I said, the only people that can, make change is you. The outsiders aren't going to change the program. It's the players. And they've taken that personal, and they've rallied around that and each other. We've got a couple really good classes tied up to each other, back to back to back. And so that's what makes it special, and the thing about it is 5-6 years ago, there might've been 2, maybe 3 teams in the state that could have won a championship, Hoover being one of them. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, in my opinion, 7A has changed to the fact that I really think there's 6, maybe 7 teams that could win a state championship. And so the competition is even greater. The talent level is dispersed even more. And so you really got to play good, and it's not just the last couple games, it's every single week of the season.
And I've got to ask you this, because I had a listener remind me, and you know him very well. I've known him for 30 years, but it really does. He reminded me of this. It scares the heck out of me, because I've known you for 5, 6, 7 years now, that you have a senior in high school and your son Trot. And you age like Dick Clark. So you're only in your mid 30s, I guess, but man, what's it been like coaching your son?
It's been really cool, and I've done it, most of his career, and obviously at Albertville and then here at the high school level. And it's been really special. I try to let his position coaches take care of the most you can, but there's been a couple of conversations on the drive home, and it's really been fun watching him grow and develop and into the man and player that he is. He's sitting here, I'm very critical of him, but he's been a 3-year starter at the varsity level in 7A. He's going to the Mississippi Alabama All-Star game on December 14th. He's the number 1 ranked heavyweight in the state right now, regardless of class in wrestling. So very proud of him and what he's been able to accomplish, and watching him grow as I get a front row seat being his coach and his dad. So it's pretty special.
Well, Coach, best of luck tonight. Best of luck tonight. The 7A playoffs, Hoover, Central Phoenix City. Man, good luck.
Yeah, and what's going to be a couple keys, Coach, as far as to beat the Red Devils and get to the finals?
Yeah, eliminate the big plays on their end, and we have to create some explosive plays on our end. Obviously, we have to take care of the ball. We have a pretty special quarterback in Mac Beeson that is just a playmaker. And I think he's thrown for over 2,200 yards, and he's rushed for another 400 or 500. And against the people that we've played, that says a lot about him, and he keeps us in the game. And then, we got playmakers like Jonah Winston and Amari Towns and Chris Warren. It was funny, right before y'all called, Jonah's brother, Jameis Winston, sent all the players and stuff a personalized message.
Wow.
And that says a lot, because Jameis won the big one last night.
Yeah, thought out.
He gets on the phone this morning to encourage all of the Bucks, and so really special to see. But players in games like this have to make plays, and I think that's the key to the game. And defensively, we can settle in with our big defensive line, and Cameron Torbor at linebacker, and JJ Moultrie, who's going to ULM. Those guys have to make plays, and they've been used to that all year, and I expect nothing less tonight.
Well, we definitely going to be rooting for you, Coach. We've been following you closely. We're proud of your journey, and you took it over in a difficult circumstance, but you've come out the other end like we thought you could. You did a remarkable job here at Grissom High School, and we're very proud of what you've done and continued success, Coach. And we hope the Bucks come out with a win.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to give a shout out to my good buddy, Brian Ritchie, too. Hopefully he's listening. I'm going to call him after this.
Yes,
he was listening yesterday. He made sure to call in and remind us that you were playing tonight. So, yes. I mean, yes.
We're good. Hey, I'll say this about he's came to a couple games, so he's a true friend, and I wish him well.
Yes, sir. No doubt. Good luck, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Man, always good to catch up with him, Drew.
Yeah, it really
always
is.
good. I hate that he's not. I hate that he's not in our area.
Yep.
All right. Let's get that final break in. We'll wrap it all up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, let's get this in real fast. Jimmy Lay with us, going to help us with our tomorrow's headlines. High school football taking center stage tonight. Jimmy Lay is going to be out at the Fife game. Good morning, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys. Yeah, this time of year, Fife is always going to be in the mix, and Piedmont also, and this should be a good one. Fife does what they do, running the ball, and they're not going to try to hide it. They're not going to try to do anything tricky. They're just going to line up, basically tell you, hey, we're going to run it right here, see if you can stop it. Piedmont is going to spread you out. I mean, they got a really good quarterback, and Fife is going to have to be on point tonight because last week against Gordo, they had guys running wide open all over the field, but just weren't able to hit them to be able to stay in the game. If Piedmont can hit those passes tonight, and they got some really good receivers and a really good quarterback, this thing is going to go into the fourth quarter. And the team that can make the biggest play or the team that can get that turnover late is going to win that game. Also got Cherokee County at Brooks that we'll be looking at. And, Brooks had a great season last year, made a great run to the quarterfinals, got stopped by Westminster. But Cherokee County, they are what they are. So it looks like, to me, I'm thinking it's going to be Cherokee County and West Oregon in the semis next week.
That'd be something right there, man. Drew Phillips done a remarkable job.
Yep. All right, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Safe travels to you as well. Safe travels to anybody that's going on now to see high school football tonight. We've also got UAH basketball tonight, taking on University of Missouri St. Louis. 5:30, 5:15 pregame. Well, 5 o'clock, 5 something, 5 pregame, 5:30. It's going to be an extended, probably 5 o'clock. I'm going to say 5 o'clock. 5:30 tip-off, though. All right. Have a safe one.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge